Do you want to know how to use Cartoon Animator's automatic lip sync? In part 1 of this 3-part video series, I'll show you how to make your character speak automatically and how to refine the lip sync manually to smooth out any inaccurate mouth movements. So to demonstrate the automatic lip sync feature of Cartoon Animator, I've set up this template project of my own, which if you want to follow along you can get for free from the Reallusion Marketplace. You'll find it here in my store. Just search for e-tourist in the marketplace and you'll see all my products, including this free project here, which is advertising my lazy animator guide to animating talking heads in Cartoon Animator 5. Project itself completely free. You don't have to buy anything. You'll get this pretty cool character and her gaming room behind her. So, getting back to Cartoon Animator. Before we get to the lip sync, the first thing we want to do is make sure we're in our initial shot for the animation. If you're in preview mode, like I am at the moment, as you can see up here, we want to be in record mode. And one way you can change this is to click on here and just go to camera, and that will take you to the record camera track, not the preview track. In the preview track, you can use these tools here to move everything around as much as you like, and it won't affect your animation at all. But once you're on the record track, and if you make moves of the camera like this, you'll be adding keyframes to your animation. But we want to set up our initial shot for this character, so we'll just open this up and go to camera mode, and you can see it immediately swaps to this camera and not the preview camera. Then you use the same tools to move it around, making sure that you're on the 0 frame down here. You'll see this is the frame number that you're on and we're on 0. If you do this anywhere else, you'll be putting a keyframe on the timeline. But we want to set this up to a nice mid shot, pretty much how you saw it when we first got here, just to get started. And from now on, we're not going to touch the camera at all. We're just going to leave it on this shot so that we can work with the actor. Now, to make your character talk, you're going to need some audio from somewhere of your character's voice. I use 11 Labs to create AI voices because they're quite realistic, and I've used those voices before for this character. I've already pre-recorded my voice and I've got it here ready to go. So all we need to do to add this voice to the character is making sure we've got the character selected. So clicking on the character with the selection tool up here, and then getting our voice file and just clicking and dragging it onto the character. And when it says add copy, let go, you'll see it's added to the character.
Hi, I'm Animate Amy. Have you discovered me in the Reallusion Marketplace? I'm completely free, and my pack includes this template project of me in my gaming room. Did you know you can learn to make and rig characters?
I'm going to stop that there. You'll see once the voice is on the character, you get a preview of the automatic lip sync kicking in, and that's really how easy it is to make your character speak. But it's not perfect, so you'll notice if we go some of the way in and let it keep going.
Me with the Lazy Animators free course, the fastest way to rig and animate your first character in Cartoon Animator. You'll find the link in this video's description.
So you'll notice
beginner-friendly.
Some of the mouth movements aren't quite as lined up with what she's saying as you would like, and in order to fix that, we're going to need to clean this up by manually adjusting the mouth shape. So to do that, we want to go back to the start by hitting the stop key here, so the playhead's on the start. We're going to open up the timeline by clicking this button here, and if you've got more than one thing open in the timeline like this does here, you can click this button. We'll make sure only the selected item in the window is open in the timeline. At the moment nothing is actually selected. This is just left over from me clicking on various things. But as soon as I click on the character, you'll notice everything else disappears except for the pink-haired girl's track. Now to access the automatic lip sync, we need to go into the face track by clicking the face button here, and you'll see in the side here we've got voice clip and facial clip. All we need to focus on is the voice clip. We can expand that by clicking on the little triangle here, and you'll see Now we can see the waveform, and down here are all the mouth shapes of the character. And if I double click on any of these, like so, the lips editor will come up. And now we can start changing which lips actually show as she's talking, and you'll see there's a slider down here that can adjust the expressiveness of the voice. So this particular character is a morph based head character, which means that this whole face is a wireframe face, giving her the full range of mouth movements. So if I go to one of these where the mouth is open completely, you'll see if I adjust the expressiveness, you can see that I can make her mouth go any sort of level from closed to fully open. Whereas if you're using a sprite-based character, you won't be able to use this expressiveness slider here, because sprite-based character obviously has fixed images for how open the character's mouth is, so just be aware of that. But generally I don't use the expressiveness a lot, only in sort of really extreme cases where the lip sync is out. I just stick with the mouth shapes. And again, with a morph based character, the morph based character can use all of these lip shapes, whereas a sprite based character generally has about only 9 of these that it actually uses. The rest of them are kind of repeated, which are the most similar to the ones that it uses. But in order to manually adjust the character, what I do is scrub through the timeline, and I just pay attention to the lips closely and see if that mouth shape is matching what's being said at each point. So you can see for most of the first word where she says hi, that looks pretty good to me, so I just move on. You'll see there's a bit of mouth movement here. It's not a lot, it's just sort of preparing for the next word. So we could leave these mouth keys in there and just keep moving. We want to do this as quickly as possible without getting too bogged down in getting the mouth shapes perfectly exact for every syllable. We just want it to generally look okay, because each mouth shape is going to be on screen for sort of less than a second or so. You'll see she's making some weird mouth shape there, when she should be making more of an M sound. It's I'm. I don't know why she's doing that woo sound. So to change that, we just click on it and we can go for one of these that more matches the letter that she's saying. So going I'm with an M, we would switch this to the BMP mouth shape just by clicking on it. You'll see now it says BMP on there. Now she's not making that weird woo shape. Again, there's another woo in here that's not necessary. Could just delete it by hitting the delete key. See what that looks like. Again, she's doing woo instead of an M sound here, so we'll change that to an M. Doing an N sound here, but it doesn't really look like an N with a voice, so find one of these that looks like an N, add it in. It's not really doing an A sound here, should be going anime. This TLD isn't right, we want to go more of an open mouth sound. Could use this one maybe. Okay. That BMP should be over more, so we can just slide it over. We'll have the E sound in there, we could add that in. Move that over. Notice the expressiveness on that E is at 0, which is not what we want. Turn that up a bit. Just watch out for that. If nothing appears to be happening when you add a character in, just check the expressiveness to make sure it's not on 0. So you can see TH in here is not needed. See in here she's not saying anything, but her mouth completely opens wide here. Way too early, so we could either delete that or move it over a bit. And this is generally all we do to fix up the lip sync. These woos in here again, change it to an M. Should be an N. That woo should be an N. Should perhaps be an M in there somewhere. Another woo. Place with an M. An F sound somewhere in there. That woo should be an E. So you get the idea. I'm not going to sort of make you sit through here while I do all, I think it's 30 seconds of this particular scene. I'm going to go through and adjust all the mouth shapes and then come back at the end and show you the final result. So that's my first pass at manually fixing the automatic lip sync. I'm going to click this button, which will set the end playing flag to just at the end of my voice track here, so that when I replay this, it doesn't keep going and replays all this empty part of the timeline here. So if I click that, see this flag here will move up to there. Like so. See there, you can see it there, and in the timeline you'll see there's this little red flag here, so that now when I hit the play button it's going to stop here at the end. If I wanted to, I could go to that frame just to make sure, find out what number of frames that is, 866, and I could change the project length by clicking on the project settings to 866. And hit enter, and now the entire project is 866 frames long. You'll see this flag is now at the end of the animation on the timeline. So I'm going to close the lips editor down, close the timeline down, hit the stop button so that the playhead's back at the start, and we'll just play this through so that we can get a feeling for how lip sync is looking now. So here we go.
Hi, I'm Anime Amy. Have you discovered me in the Reallusion Marketplace? I'm completely free, and my pack includes this template project of me in my gaming room. Did you know you can learn to make and rig characters just like me with the Lazy Animators free course? The fastest way to rig and animate your first character in Cartoon Animator. You'll find the link in this video's description. It's completely beginner-friendly, and you'll learn so much.
So there we go. Still not completely perfect, and I could probably work on it a lot more, but it's good enough for our purposes and this demonstration. So before we go any further, I'm going to save this project file. Go into the content tab over here and go to the custom side of the menu, and I'm going to go to my folder here for Anime Amy, and I'm actually going to create a new folder by right clicking on this folder and go create subfolder, We'll call it Amy Demo 1, go OK. Move to Amy Demo, and then I'm going to save it here by clicking the Save button. Just give it a name, call it Amy Lip Sync, go OK, and you'll see that gets saved over here in the project folder. There you go. Once you've manually smoothed out any lip syncing problems, you're ready to start animating your character's body, and we'll do that in part 2 of this 3-part series. So be sure to click over to that video.